I'm glad you're back here, sir.
Are you, Your Honor?
I am, sir, actually.
I'm not too sure. Especially when I bring up subject matter jurisdiction.
I've ruled on that, sir.
I know, but it hasn't been proven for the record.
If you disagree with my ruling, sir, you can file an appeal.
It has to be proven on the record. Has yet to be proven on the record.
I disagree, sir.
What's your buddy's name? Can we get that? If we gotta talk to him to verify you're on the up and up and she's on some BS?
His name is Marcus.
What's his last name?
I don't know his last name.
What his phone number?
467. Oh, wait, hope if I had my freaking phone somewhere. 467. 85 31 or 30 or something like that.
112?
Yes, sir.
And he lives in Milwaukee?
Yes, sir.
And you guys came out here together?
Yes.
Okay, so he hasn't.
Well, like I said, Stephanie was. She's a older mixed lady, so she's not. You know, she.
Who do you know in Waukesha other than her?
I know a guy named Terrion. I met
Terry on that.
I don't know where he lives now. I've been knowing him for maybe 5-6 years. I just know he stays in Waukesha. He comes down to Milwaukee a lot, and then he comes back up here.
How old is he?
Like 34, 35.
34. Where did?
Maybe.
I know
a lot of females.
Well, how many times have you been to Terry's house?
Once in like 2018.
Do you remember?
It was like an apartment. It wasn't a house though.
Apartment?
Yeah.
Do you remember what was near it?
I think it was like right on the main street.
What's the main street? There's a lot of
Like,
streets. Like is
whatever
it
street
near downtown?
What would be considered downtown?
Where all the bars and restaurants and
It-
shops
Business
are.
district. Is Stephanie's place near downtown? There's a bunch of bars and a business district right near there?
The only thing I can remember is a gas station, like a kitty quarter gas station. I think this street is like a one-way. Whatever street is right here is like a one-way, and it's a gas station like right here.
Remember what kind of gas station? With the Mobile Speedway Quick Trip hometown.
Not a Quick Trip, not a Speedway, like the blue and white one.
Any schools or parks nearby your house? Something like that? Anything you remember like that? Trails?
I know that park. I know that park is by old girl's house.
By whose house? Stephanie?
Yeah.
Park. What?
I don't know the name of the park, but it has like a little creek or something. It was something going on out there yesterday to where a lot of shit was blocked off.
Okay.
I don't like I said, I don't know about Waukesha. I don't know, but it seemed like everybody was at that park, kind of walking around that creek.
Like a playground type park or like a
park. It seemed like a little creek or something. Well, I don't know if you would say a creek. What would that be? But
river?
Would that be a river? Does Waukesha have a river? Well, I know it's just a small body of water. It's like, how would I describe it?
But there were barricades blocking some shit off here there?
No, it looked like in that area.
In that area?
In that area, it looked like a bunch of shit was like blocked. You couldn't go down certain streets or some shit. I don't know, but that park is close to the old girl's house where, that's why I said, look, when our friend was like, you know, your baby mama trying to get in touch with you. And I'm like, what's up? What's she telling you? What's going on? And she was just like, well, she said she got some money for you. And I was like, why would she tell somebody else? That's what I started thinking at first. Like, that's like, why is you? Because she'll tell me the same thing. Don't tell people our business. So then when she put us in, when she merged us in, you out here? I'm like, man, yeah, but I'm like, what's up? Like, Yeah, okay, cool. You going No, not staying out here like that. I'm watching the game and I'm gone.
So she tell you where to meet, or you tell her where to meet?
She told me where to meet.
Okay.
I said, it's a gas station right here.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, is it a park right there? I'm like, I don't know. Is it a park right here? They like, yeah, there's a park right down here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, just meet me over there. I'll get the money from you, give you a hug, give you a kiss, and, I'll call you later or whatever. It wasn't supposed to be us hanging out, spending time together. It wasn't that. It wasn't supposed to be that. She got mad because I didn't want to do that. That's why I kind of figured, but like I said, I didn't see her drink. I'm not going to sit here and say I saw her drink. I'm not going to lie on her. I didn't. But when she started acting like, yeah, you finna, that's when I kind of was like, she probably been drinking. She probably haven't just stopped drinking, but you was drinking sometime today. I know you was drinking sometime today. I didn't tell her that. I said, yeah, because she's acting too, you know what I mean? Oh, you just think you finna get the money and leave, and you must got some bitch waiting on you, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, see, this is why. This is why I just should have just watched the game and left, dude. Like,
All right. So
the fuck, man?
So you came out. How did you get out here again?
My friend.
What type of car did he drive?
Oh, man. It's like a Kia type of car. I don't know if it's a Kia, but it's a small four-door car like that, in that type of model.
Okay. What color is it?
Like tan.
And was it just the two of you that rolled out together? Did anyone roll out from Milwaukee with you?
No, it was just us two.
Two of us.
He said he probably was gonna be some chicks over there. Like I said, the Stephanie girl is an older woman. She, likes to party, drink, watch the game. She cooks.
Sure.
Cool, fuck it, let's watch the game. Shit, I was only gonna probably go to my mom's house and watch the game there, and my mom has to go to work. So I was just gonna be sitting there like this. Fuck it, might as well go. You know what I'm saying?
Did he offer to drive?
And at the same time,
sorry.
Cool, I can get the money from that she been holding for me.
Yeah. Did he offer to drive? Do you have your own car? Did he offer to
No,
drive?
I don't.
How did you guys come?
I don't own a vehicle.
Don't own a vehicle.
Nope.
Do you have any car you can drive at all?
No, I have license.
So you have a.
I do have license, but no vehicle.
Don't ever use your niece's nephew's mom's car or anything like that?
My nephew doesn't have a vehicle. My niece is 14.
Mm-hmm.
So what about your mom?
My mom doesn't even know how to drive.
She doesn't have a car, doesn't know how to drive?
She doesn't know how to drive.
Does
She never learned.
Okay. Does she have a car that she lets you use at all?
No.
Does she have a car at all? Maybe not that she lets you use.
No.
Does she have a car in her name at all?
I think she did at one point.
Does she right now?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say no because I don't know. I honestly don't know. Me and my mom we was kind of having family issues for a while, so we didn't talk for a while. Issues that didn't have nothing to do with this. It was between me and her. So we started back talking when I was in Georgia. So whatever she had going on when I was on the West Coast, coming back to Milwaukee, I don't know. But I can tell you this. My mom is 60-some years old. She's never drove. She doesn't know how to drive. She doesn't even have a license.
Okay.
She catches the bus to work, which I don't like her doing because Milwaukee.
Sure.
She has to go. She works at Freighter, so she has to go. The way her bus route goes, she has to go way until like 92nd. Then somewhere she told me they don't even have a bus depot thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting cold as shit, and it's dark out there, and she's just standing out there. And I was just like, damn, I don't want. So I'm like, you probably gonna have to change your route to catch the bus from downtown Milwaukee on Wisconsin Street, downtown Milwaukee, and then go up because I don't like her.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't like her doing that.
So you just argued a little bit, and then you're saying you walked away yesterday.
Yeah, I just told her. I'm not finna freaking. It was people out there. They would tell you, I did not put my hands on this woman. I did not push this woman. I did not choke this woman. I did not kick this woman. I did not grab this woman. I did not do anything to this woman.
People out there, as in like just regular old civilians.
Just regular civilians.
People
Just regular.
that know you.
Regular civilians.
Did you meet her by yourself?
I met her by myself.
No one from the house went with you?
No one. And there was people walking up and down the street. Like I said, it was people out because it was daytime. So it wasn't like we was just in some secluded area where it was just me and her.
Mm-hmm.
It was people out there, and they.
But anybody that knows you or knows
nobody
her?
that knows me. Nobody that knows me. I don't know if it was anybody around that knows her, but I know people were walking up and down the street. People were walking around that park.
Sure.
It was like, basically, we were out in public. Like, if we was out in public, if something would have happened, people would have, yo, what the hell? Like, where was we going to go to not be seen?
All right, so I might have missed this. You touched on it. You were at the gas station or the park? I know the park's nearby. You met her at the
No,
gas
I'm saying
station.
the gas station. No, I met her at the park. The gas station was by the area that we were in. The gas station is by that park.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which car were you in when you met her at the...
I didn't meet her in the car. I walked right over there.
You walked?
I walked right over there to the park, and she was standing, like, right wherever this entrance to this park is. Like I said, it was people everywhere. So
Yeah.
anybody would see us standing out there. She was standing right there waiting for me. I walked up, gave her a hug, and she was just like, well, my friend has my purse, so I don't have the money and all this. I'm like, so you had me come way out here?
You know, like a power play or something?
That's basically was like, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you basically, you see how fast you caught on to that, and I was just like, you had me come way out here. You know, I ain't even supposed to be around you like that. You had me come way out here to meet you, for you to try to play and shit like this. I said, no, man, I'm gone.
Yeah. So
I'm out.
It was daylight when you met up with her. Was it still daylight pretty much when you walked away from her?
Yeah, it was daylight the whole. This was broad daylight. That's what I'm saying. Like, people outside, everything going on, people walking around the park. I'm like, anybody would have saw us talking. Anybody would have saw if anything happened.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody would have saw if I did something to her, she did something to me, if I ran from the scene, if I did this, anybody would have seen it.
Do you know how she got out here to meet you out here? She didn't say?
She's apparently been staying out here.
Okay. So were you...
This is what she told our mutual friend. I don't know if that's true.
All right.
I haven't talked to her and haven't seen her in like almost a month.
That's fine.
So I don't know.
You said you don't know where your phone is. We're talking your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
You're not sure. Did you leave it? Do you keep that with you? Is that your phone that you have with you all the time? Because you seem, I don't know where it is. I don't have it. You seem confused. It's missing. Is that something?
Yeah.
you take with
Well.
you?
Yeah.
Like if you go somewhere, do you take your phone?
Absolutely. My mom just got me that phone. It's my first ever iPhone.
Okay.
I don't know if she was using it first kind of thing, but she was just like, I got a surprise for you. No, I never had an iPhone.
Hopefully we'll find it for you. And that's the number with the 610, if I had to call you after today, the 610, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's why I was asking him. I said, man, when I told him, I said, look, yo, I'm reaching for my ID. That's why I said, how can y'all not find my flip-flops or my phone? I had on some Green Bay Packer flip-flops because it was game day.
Did you know where his phone was when you asked him if he lost it?
Objection. You're saying.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
The phone was found inside the vehicle, so he didn't have it with him when he was
What vehicle?
taken into custody. The red Ford
Objection
Escape.
leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
I'm sorry, the red Ford Escape.
And in whose name was that car registered?
Dawn Woods.
And what relationship is Dawn Woods to the defendant?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
She is his mother.
Why did you ask Mr. Brooks about the phone?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
The objection's overruled.
be used in location services at a later time to further verify that the suspect was, Mr. Brooks, excuse me, was in Waukesha at the time when these incidents occurred.
She drinks.
So after you talked to her, Darrell, where did you go? Do you have they found you, it was cold yesterday. You didn't have a jacket. Did you have a jacket with you?
I didn't initially have a jacket because, like I said, I was riding with somebody else. So I figured.
So you didn't bring one in anticipation of the cold?
I didn't, because I figured I'm going from the house right to wherever we're going. So it wasn't like I'm finna hang out with y'all all night type of deal. We was just supposed to be watching the game, having a few cold ones, and then I was getting dropped back off home.
So what happened, Darrell, where you ended up, I know you say you're not familiar with the area. So
At all.
I'll lay this out for you. So follow me for a minute. You say you're kind of near this park. I got an idea in my head of where you're talking, based on my knowledge of the city. It's right near Stephanie's, where you're hanging around watching the game, and Marcus is there. You came out here with your phone, because you take it with you. How did you end up at this guy's house? Now, you said when you walked away from Erica, did she go the other way? You walked away.
From what I remember, she just stood there.
Okay,
she was just standing there like.
Right.
Well,
so
whatever.
you walked away and it was over.
It was over.
It was over. How did you end up at a guy's house asking to use his phone, which is blocks away from Stephanie's? Okay, I can tell you that based on my knowledge of the city, based on approximately where you're telling me it is, without your phone in your shoes. You understand where that's kind of weird? How did you get to be over there? What happened?
Yeah, what basically happened with that was when I got back over here by old girl house, I just said, because I don't really know Stephanie like that. It's my friend's friend or partner or whatever the case may be. They was getting into it about pretty much the same thing that I was getting into it with Erica about. I was just like, him.
Who's him?
Marcus. Him, her, and whoever else, Stephanie.
Was there anyone else there other than
Yeah, at her house, yeah.
Okay.
A few girls that I didn't know, but they had already said it was going to be people over here.
Okay.
So.
All right, so
I was pissed because I feel like I just met up with her, with my baby's mama. I just met up with her for absolutely nothing. You tell me, okay, you out here in Waukesha, I'm out here, let's meet up, I got your money, and then I walk over there and you don't have the money. Or you do or you don't, you just ain't gonna give it to me, however the case may be. So I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Well, hold on.
When I get back,
you're pissed, but
when I get back over there, I'm pissed.
Okay.
They was getting into it, and he like, man, come on, bro, we just finna go. And I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, I just got into it with it. Now y'all into it. He like, man, this bitch tripping, whatever, let's go. I'm like, nah. No. I'm like, I'm out, dog. And I just started
Marcus
walking.
wanted to leave?
He wanted to leave, but I don't know what the fuck he was on. He probably didn't even get into it with old girl, but he out there like, man, let's just go, bro.
How long have you known Marcus?
I know Marcus for years.
Okay. I'm going to be straight with you, because you've been asking me for that all along. That doesn't make sense. Listen to me, okay? Just listen to me. You go to this house. You leave. That wind was cold as hell.
Not at first.
Well, by the time it was getting later in the day, I mean, after the Packer game, you're talking 3:30, 4 o'clock, it was getting cold. I was outside for a while.
Yeah, it was about like 3:30, yeah.
By the time you're talking, it was getting cold. All right? Marcus is ready to leave because this bitch is being crazy. He's like, I'm out. You just went through the same experience from what you're telling us. You live in Milwaukee.
I don't know what exactly happened with him, though.
I mean, I told you to let me wait out. I know you don't know exactly what happened. But who are you going to trust more? Marcus, who you've known for years, or Stephanie? Why would you walk away walk all the way down to where you did, leave your phone in the apartment apparently,
No, I didn't. I
along
didn't
with your
leave it. I didn't
sandals,
leave it. I didn't leave it.
and go down to where you were and not take the ride back to Milwaukee. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Can you understand?
I don't know if he
why that
left and
doesn't
went
make
back to
sense.
Milwaukee though. I don't know if he did that.
But how are you going to get back if you don't get in the car?
I called an Uber. That's what I did.
So what happened? How did you get all the way to where you went? Because there's all these businesses in between where you were and where you got to. How did you end up at a random house without your shoes and your phone, Darrell?
This is what I'm saying. I had my flip-flops on. I had them.
Okay.
I just said that.
Where did they go?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if when they slammed me down, they just never. I don't know. I'm knocked on 2 doors, not just the one.
So you had your flip-flops.
I had my Green Bay
at that
Packer
point.
flip-flops on. Yes.
Green Bay Packer. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't just walking around with no shoes. That didn't happen until after the fact. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
So I guess another question I would have for you is if you had your phone too, correct?
yeah,
Okay, you didn't leave it at the apartment.
no.
Stephanie's.
That's why I was telling you it should have been on the grass. Remember, I described the phone to you. I said it's black. It has a cracked screen.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Why are you asking other people to use their phones? Why is that guy letting
My
you-
phone was dead.
Okay. When did it die?
I have no idea.
Okay.
And I didn't have a charger.
But you used it for the 3-way call.
And I used his phone for the 3-way call.
Okay.
Like I said, we got a mutual friend named Michelle. Me and Erica do. I've known Michelle just as long as I've known Erica. She was the one that was telling me what's going on with you and your baby mama. Y'all not talking because she trying to get in touch with you. I said, yeah, I know she probably trying to get in touch with me. Well, I'm finna merge y'all. That's how I end up talking to her and telling her I'll walk over and meet you to get the money or whatever, give you a hug, give you a kiss, whatever. I had my flip-flops on then. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't just, because the way he was making it seem like I was just running around with no shoes to begin with.
Right.
It's like, no.
I mean, it was pretty cold. You didn't have a jacket or a sweatshirt.
Well, I didn't have a jacket to begin with.
Okay.
I didn't have a jacket to begin with, but I'm saying my shoes, I had flip-flops.
But you had a jacket before? Or
I
after?
never had a jacket.
Okay.
I had flip-flops. Green Bay Packer
Flip-flops, no
flip-flops.
jacket.
Right, because I didn't feel like I was going to be, like, I'm not going to be outside. Well, I'm thinking I'm not going to be outside. If I'm just going from a car to a house, it's no reason for me to have a coat on, or at least that's how I'm thinking. I always do that. That's just like if I had a car and I know I'm finna go somewhere and I'm like, I'm just going from here to here. Well, it's no reason for me to just get all bundled up and do all this and that. There's no reason for
Were
me.
there still a bunch of people out when you left? When you left her
It
house?
was still daytime.
Okay,
It
you
was
said
still
there were a bunch
daytime.
of people when you were talking to Erica. There were still a bunch of people when you left Stephanie's.
When I was no, I wasn't talking.
When you left Stephanie's,
It was still daytime.
it was still daytime.
Yes.
Okay. Were there still a lot of people out?
It was
Kinda
still
like there
it was
were?
still people out.
Okay.
It was still people out. Not a lot in that area. By the park, it was a lot of people out.
Okay.
Like I said, it looked like something was, I don't know what the hell. But it was a lot of people out. And it was, like I said, it was people, it was older couples walking down the street. It was younger people walking down the street.
It
People
looked like an event or something was going on?
I don't know, but it kind of seemed like it was a lot, like it was something going on to where it was vibrant. Because there was a lot of people everywhere.
Walking
everywhere.
up and down the street.
Everywhere. It's people. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I got into a fight with her right there, it would be impossible for somebody to not be like, hey, this guy's fighting this chick or whatever the case may be. Like, how could somebody not see something?
How long was it between leaving Stephanie's and those cops yelling at you at the door of that guy's house?
Was it dark when they yelled at you?
Yeah, by the time they came, it was dark.
Okay.
But we had been sitting out there. We had been sitting out there for a minute, me and the guy. We was sitting right there on the porch. We was just sitting there.
Define how long, estimate.
maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
It wasn't long, but it was long enough for, like I said, he let me use his phone. We sat on the porch. We were sitting right there, just like this, just sitting on the porch. While I called me an Uber. I called the Uber. I said, look, man, I let him know. I said, look, I ain't trying to rob you or nothing like that. Because when I knocked on the door, he kind of was like, whoa. I'm like, look, I don't got no weapons. I'm not trying to break in your house. I'm not trying to rob you. Nothing like that, dog. I just need to call an Uber. That's it. I'm not, he was just like, okay. I come out. Boom. I need an Uber to, what's your address? He told me the address. And we was just sitting there waiting. That's how I was going to get back home. I told him, I said, I got the money on my card. I'm not asking you for no money. I just need to use your phone. That's it. That was it. That was all. And then from there, we sat on the porch and just shot the shit out.
I'm saying, you told me last night he was cool with that. Like, he wasn't,
he
wasn't being weird. He was just like, oh, yeah, I'll help you out.
Yeah, we just sat there on the porch.
Right.
And he did ask me, he said, do you need a jacket? I said, no, I'm straight. Like, I'll be home as soon as the Uber come. I know it's probably going to cost me probably like $40 to get from me. I'm guessing. I don't know, but probably. But I had enough on my card to where I knew I can get home. And that was the main thing. I'm like, I'm just going home. She can keep the money or whatever. I didn't even try to contact her further. I just was like, I'm gone. I'm calling this Uber and I'm going home. That's it.
Let me ask you this, Darrell. So you weren't out in Waukesha Saturday, just Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. Nothing physical yesterday. Like I told you, you're a part in the investigation. There's a lot of parts, right? To any investigation. There's people we talk. Well, this domestic abuse thing I'm telling you about, right? Okay.
So wait.
Hold on. Let me go.
I'm sorry. I just had a question, but
you talked about being a religious man, right?
I could do better. I could definitely do better.
We all could.
I'm not.
We all could.
No,
That's why.
Yesterday was a mistake. I should have just freaking watched the game and just fucking went home.
Right.
Because.
And that's the thing. What do they teach us in Christianity, Darrell? That they teach us that we're broken, right? We're sinners. Even when we're born sinners. We're broken. That's why
Psalm
we're
51,
so
17.
thankful for God's grace and forgiveness, right? When we ask for it. Even though we don't deserve it. But when we ask for it, He gives it. All right? You're a father. You got 3 children. 18, 14, and 7?
Yes, sir.
All right? You got a mama that raised you well. And a God you believe in.
Absolutely.
All right? And all of them are, here's the thing they'll all want, is that you're telling the absolute whole truth and nothing but the truth, right?
Absolutely.
So help you God, right?
Absolutely.
Sound familiar? We've all heard that, right? And I just have concerns if I fact check that Darrell's not telling me the truth. You don't have a car, so Marcus had to bring you out. You don't own a car, your mom doesn't own a car, right? So Marcus had to bring you out. So why did we find you with a car key in your pocket?
It wasn't in my pocket. I don't even know where they said that was laying on the ground.
That's yours.
Yeah. It should have been by my ID.
Yeah, it's yours. It's your car key, okay? Because it goes to a Ford Escape in your mom's name covered in Waukesha. Okay. Listen, Darrell. I'm trying to be as open and honest with you as I can be. You know, I'm Christian too, and believe me, I'm not perfect. And neither are you. And I'm not calling you a terrible man. I'm not saying you were out yesterday hunting, and just let me finish. But you did not walk to that house. You did not walk to that house. You did not come here in a tan Kia. You didn't.
And who?
You did not come out here in a tan Kia. Okay? You've got a key in your pocket to a car, your mom's name. Okay? And that key works for that car. For the love of God, Marcus. For yourself, for your family. You know what happened yesterday. For the people. Tell me what happened.
With what?
with the car,
What am I being
with your
investigated
mom's
for?
car. You were driving goofy, people called you in, you drove out of there in your mom's car, the red car, you're driving a little silly, probably because you're pissed. You met up with Erica in the car at the park. Now initially I believe you told us the gas station, do I have that right? And then you changed it to the park. So that's an injustice.
No, I said the house was by the gas station. When you said what was by.
You said you went
Landmark.
and it was by a gas station, that's where you met her.
No. I said I met her at the park.
Okay.
At a
Well,
creek.
you met her,
I did say that.
You met her at the park in your mom's car. A red Ford Escape. She got in, you talked, and what you're telling me seems pretty consistent, that there was nothing physical between the two of you.
No.
But you met her in the car.
I didn't put my hands on her or nothing.
But
like
you
that.
met her in the car.
What's going on, man?
Asking you a question.
Just be.
You were out there
Just tell
driving
me
kind
what's
of
going
crazy.
on,
Some
man.
people said you were driving kind of crazy. We got reports of it. You got the key, you got the car. Did you take the car or did your mom give you the car? I know you know what car I'm talking about.
I just want to know. So.
Some people
Now,
reported,
listen,
you had all those
okay,
people
no,
out
no,
there
no,
that
no,
reported
no.
that car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other. You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday.
Didn't know
That
for
would
sure.
explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see them here today.
Come on, Kurt. Hey, we been.
You guys met in the car in the park.
We been
Yeah,
cool,
that's all.
man, the whole time. If I did something
Yeah.
wrong,
that's why they were
serious-
here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darrell.
And I'm like, what if it's
Listen to
that?
me for a minute.
I apologize.
I can give you a clean slate here.
I apologize.
Because you have lied to us as well. Because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key. Alright? So, what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. Understand what I'm saying? Start over. Because you're not giving us an accurate story. You didn't ride out with Marcus in a tan car. You said your mom doesn't have a car. I've just told you we've disproven that. All right? I don't know what kind of woman she is. I don't know what you all been through. But you were seen in the car driving kind of acting a fool. Okay? In basically the same area that you've already been able to describe to me. I'm just trying to figure out how and why it happened. What made you tear out of there? What made you so mad where you're like, fuck it, and you raced on out of there? And then people go, man, he's driving around here kind of fast.
All I want to know, like I said, y'all been cool with me. Am I charged with anything? That's all I want to know. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Right now,
Listen. I was
you were driving a bit
so
reckless.
listen.
Might
I
be an
was
owner be
so,
lied.
listen. No, I don't drink.
You said you had a couple cold ones during the game.
No, yeah, but I'm saying the hard alcohol is not my thing. I was not drunk when you get the blue.
Obviously, to this point, Mr. Brooks had told us his mother didn't have a vehicle that she let him use. He didn't know if she had one at all. The vehicle was in his name.
Or is it his name?
I'm sorry, in his mother's name, Mrs. Woods, Dawn Woods. It stated he didn't have a vehicle at all.
Objection, lady.
The previous objection, it's noted, it's overruled. The witness may continue.
He had made statements earlier in the interview he didn't have a vehicle at all that he had ridden out in the Kia which is not true. The investigation showed Mr. Brooks came out here in the red Ford Escape by himself, so he was in fact in possession of a vehicle. He was in fact driving a vehicle. He describes and he gives the impression, Mr. Brooks does, that, well, if I was in a domestic, someone would have seen it. Someone would have seen it because there were all the people there, and there were, but it's not necessarily going to be seen as easily as Mr. Brooks was trying to lead me to believe, because it took place inside of the vehicle. Mr. Brooks did not walk to the park to meet Miss Patterson. That was proven as evidence in this investigation. He drove there and met up with her in Dawnwood's red Ford Escape, which is the same vehicle after departing the park, drove along Main Street in Waukesha through the parade route.
The key found in the defendant's pocket, did that operate the red Ford Escape that was eventually located, that was registered to Dawnwood?
Objection. That's been answered numerous times.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
There's never any depiction of a key being found in the defendant's pocket.
The objection is noted. It's overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, it did. And, as we discussed the key more, you can even hear in there that Mr. Brooks acknowledges it should have been near his ID.
And was his ID also found in his pocket? Do you know?
Objection.
Yes, it was.
Leading.
Please wait till I rule on the objection. Sustained as to the form of the question. I'll strike the last answer. Please rephrase.
Where was that, his ID found?
In his pocket.
And the information you had, where was the key found?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Objections hearsay.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
The key was found in his pocket.
And how do you know that?
Now, you also talked to Mr. Brooks about his phone. Where did he say his phone was?
According to Mr. Brooks, at this point, the phone should have been near him. I believe he said in the grass.
And what did you take that to mean? It should have been near him in the grass.
Objection. That was never stated.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
I would interpret it as right next to him, where he was arrested.
Where did he say his flip-flops were?
Objection answered.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Well, when he indicated that he departed Stephanie's house, they were on his feet. However, during the course of his arrest, he indicates he doesn't know where they went. So somehow, apparently, they, I guess according to Mr. Brooks, disappeared.
Did not touch her.
Right, so what had you so mad? Because you had your mom's car. Or I don't know if you use it. Who uses it? You got the key in the car. Is it hers? Is it yours that she lets you use? Let's clean that part up. Whose car is it?
It's my mom's car.
Okay. How often do you drive it?
Not very much.
It's the red Ford Escape?
It's all I want to know. Please. Just please. Whatever you can't tell me, I understand. I understand. All I want to know, just so I can have a peace of mind, just for my girls, man. What am I looking at?
Well, the fact you were kind of racing around up and down the street. That's the first part. Right? So, we're not quite there yet. I'm trying to figure out if I've got all my facts right first. So, this wasn't a three-way call. Let's back up to there for a second. How did you come to meet her in the park?
So y'all can't tell me nothing?
Well, you were driving.
Sir, is this the first time in this interview that Mr. Brooks acknowledged knowing about the red Ford Escape.
Objection leading, and that was not stated.
The objection's noted. It's overruled. The witness may answer.
I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Overruled.
Yes, that is the first time. I could sense what Mr. Brooks was attempting to do at that point was draw out of me more information. And again, as I stated in my earlier testimony, to gauge his truthfulness, I wanted to hear what he had to tell me about the incident before giving him too much specific detail. At this point, Mr. Brooks, for example, Miss Woods' vehicle, he indicated she did not own one. He had lied to me. There is the risk if I start giving him too much specific information, he's going to create a lie about what I gave him, and so on.
Objection.
I want to tell you that, you're charged with X, Y, Z. If you didn't do X, Y, Z, we got to correct it. It's all fact gathering.
I just feel like y'all know more than what y'all say though, and that's what has me like why should I cooperate when there's no cooperation with me? Nothing I'm saying is gonna help me.
I mean, like, it doesn't make sense to you that we're trying to gather the facts.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense,
Okay.
what you guys are doing. I'm just saying I don't want to get railroaded by people not being honest. That's all I'm saying. If I don't know what I'm looking at, it's like, what the hell? Like, why should I just sit here and be like, oh, this is everything and blah 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 blah, and then people come back and be like, okay, so now we're gonna charge you with this and this and this and this and this when y'all knew this from the door.
Well, we don't know that we're going to charge you. We're just, again, the fact
And
gathering.
it's like,
we're
dude.
asking the questions about, you know what I mean? That's why we're.
What we wanted to know at that point is where he drove, have him tell us where he drove and why he did it. But Mr. Brooks just was not willing to indicate that to us and explain that to us without us telling him what specific charges he was looking at. And this is a theme that continued over the next several hours.
So your issue right now with us is you feel like we're not sharing.
I'm getting railroaded.
Okay.
I know I am. No, y'all not telling me what's really going on.
But we're not getting the full truth either.
I know, but and what I was saying was,
you didn't give that an issue. So when you left, you guys met in the car. You didn't walk there. She got in the car.
If I tell you everything that happened, are y'all gonna be straight up with me about what I'm facing? That's all I want to know.
What you
I don't
have
want to
to
know
understand-
anything else. I don't need you guys to tell me, hey man, this is this, that is that, this is this. I just want to know. Just
So I don't know the entirety
just
right
for the
now.
fact that, like I said, my girls.
Yeah, no, I got you. I don't know the entirety right now. So while I'm here, a couple officers talked to Erica. I'm not the only one working on it, so I don't know everything. I got a report to a boss, so I don't know exactly everything that's going to be yet. And that part's not a lie. I don't know exactly everything that's going to be yet. I'm just trying to figure out to get to that point where I can have a clear idea and call who I need to call to get some of the information to find that all out. I'm trying to get a clear idea of what really happened regarding you and her. And when you drove away, where you were going. Or did you not know? You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I don't know everything.
Wow.
Because I'm out here and they're out there. Oh, Waukesha.
Right, and I'm like, how long do I gotta sit in this? Where are we at?
Skigo.
How long do I gotta sit in this jail before I can call somebody? Get a phone call, let my daughters know, hey man, I don't know what's going on, but it's good to hear your voice. Are y'all okay?
Yeah, we're trying to get to that point, Darrell, but the question I asked you when you left, where were you did you know or did you not know? Were you just mad and you left? Where were you going when you initially drove off? That's easy. If you didn't know where the hell you were going, or you didn't have an idea, or you didn't have a particular destination in mind, so be it. And we've been talking a couple hours. You want to sit and eat a minute?
I wish they had some Tylenol. I've been trying to fight this pain, man, since
They might, I don't know.
they show.
I
I
don't know
asked
how. Did you ask them?
them. Yes,
So they don't?
they just said they'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. It hurt worse now than it did yesterday, or last night, rather.
Yeah, it's going to be sore.
It's definitely sore.
There's no doubt about that.
Oh my God.
Take a break and see if we can round up some time and let him eat.
Yeah, we can see if we can. How about we see if we want me to see if I can find some?
Yeah, I just wanted.
Let me see if I can find some.
It's so many things going through my mind right now. The pain,
You don't know.
I didn't even know she called the word.
She didn't call.
Well,
I think
the cops or.
Yeah, someone else did. I know you said you lost your phone, or you didn't
Yeah.
know where it went dead, and now you don't know where it is. If we find it, so we know it's yours, can get it back to you. I know you said it's cracked, but
No, well, the screen is cracked, but it has a. I don't think it went all the way to the
what's
glass.
the code? So we know it's yours, and if we can try to return it.
It doesn't have a number code. You have to
Can you draw it?
do it with that.
Can you draw it?
It's dead. It's not even gonna turn on.
Well, yeah, but
We don't want to give it to somebody
charge
else.
it. We don't want to give it to somebody else. It's like.
It's a 7.
Typically, it's 6.
The phone is dead. So
Like I said, we can charge it. I don't want somebody else to say, "Oh, that's my phone."
You
Now we're
withdraw
giving
it?
your property to somebody else.
wait a minute. So that sounds like y'all got my phone.
If we find it. I didn't say we had it. I said if we find it.
It's a 7.
All right, so in that direction? Okay. All right, so this way down? Okay. No, I don't know if they have it now, but if we find it, you don't have it, so it I would think it'd be somewhere in the area of that house.
I noted that for the first time in a long time. He began bringing up pain in his shoulder again, something he hadn't been doing for quite some time up to that point. It seemed and felt deceptive, as if it was perhaps a stalling tactic. The other issue became, in the context, was the phone. So the phone that we ultimately recovered from Mr. Brooks, one was an Apple iPhone. That is the code I was specifically requesting from Mr. Brooks at this point. And when I provided that code to Detective David Fine, who does that type of work, he indicated that could not be the code, as the Apple iPhones did not have swipe codes. They should have had numeric or facial recognition.
For me to look forward to, but it's like this woman, man, and I love her to death, man. I want her to be my wife, man, but I just wish somebody could tell her that. Like, I wish somebody could really tell her, like, man, this dude loves you, man. Why are you doing this to this guy, man? He literally wants to marry you. 16 years, man, off and on. I'm not gonna go mess with nobody else, man. That's the person that I want to be with, but I'm not gonna continue to be the scapegoat because you want to drink. And when you know I don't, you making it seem like I just beat up on you. Like I'm just like you're a punching bag or something. I don't wake up and be like, oh, bitch, I'm gonna hit you. Well, I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. It's like almost like I'm demonized here. Like,
I'm not saying you're a demon.
no, not you, not y'all saying that. But it's just I feel that way because
you're trying to just.
I know you heard that. Oh my God. Oh, that fucking hurt.
Sure.
I know you heard that.
I heard it. It's in check.
We're gonna go check with them. Maybe they'll listen to us a little bit better.
Fuck.
You want us to check?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, give us a minute. See what we got.
Dude, it gotta be something wrong, man. How in the hell does it?
Sometimes sprains will pop too.
Yeah, but why is it hurting like this and they say there's nothing?
Because
Dude.
sprains can actually be more painful than a break.
Whatever
they got,
whatever they did, it hurt so bad.
You want to keep the food? Why don't you keep the food and the soda and we'll be back in a few minutes.
God.
Yeah. I think we got that Tylenol. We'll be right with you.
Mr. Brooks initially, as we're in the room, continues to suggest that he's in severe pain. And once we're out of the room, there's no more groaning. There's no more grabbing of his shoulder. Rather, there's an interest in looking at the paperwork that's left behind and attempting to use the phone. As soon as that door opens, Mr. Brooks then suddenly places his face into his hands and is suddenly in despair again.
What if it wasn't me driving?
What if it wasn't you?
What if it was my mom's truck,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't driving?
Mm-hmm. What if it was you?
What if it wasn't me?
Mm-hmm. Who else would it be?
That's what I'm asking. Not asking you who else would it be, but I'm just asking, what if I knew?
Mm-hmm.
Would I be asked to give that information?
Well, like I said, we're here to gather truth. So if somebody else was driving that car, yeah, I would want to know who that car is so we can go talk to that person. But a huge part of that is going to be your honesty with it.
Right. No, I was just asking.
Because you've already figured out you're not an idiot. You're not a dumb man. You're a smart guy.
Right.
I see that. You know that we've been working on this.
What's going on here?
Overruled the witness. May I answer?
So at this point, Mr. Brooks, I've stepped out of the room, is offering up to Detective Stern that there's a possibility that someone else may have been driving the vehicle. Now, when asked about that, as we can see, he pretends he doesn't know who that person would be. It's untruthfulness, it's deception.
Sir, this interview goes on for another 2+ hours. Is that correct?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. It's foundational. At this point, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Does Mr. Brooks at any time ever tell you that someone else is driving his mom's red SUV?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Leading the witness.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No other individual or no other name is ever provided.
Thank you.
It's hurtful.
So you brought that up where you don't want to see anybody.
What are those?
I'll show you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to see anybody get hurt, or sorry, you don't want to see anybody get charged for something they didn't do. But you already brought up too that if somebody did something, that they should be held accountable for it. and that you're willing to accept responsibility
What's going on with
if
that?
it's...
Can I show you something?
You look like you gotta film me or something.
No, I'm not filming you. That you? That's you.
Nah, I ain't got no, it look like whoever, it look like Gray.
Right there. You can see your face.
Nah, that's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me.
That's not you.
No, I don't.
Darrell.
That's a
Darrell.
Gray.
That's you.
That's you, Darrell.
Why you say it like that, man?
Because we talked about the honesty piece. You keep telling me that you tell the truth when you did do something. You take responsibility when you do something.
There's your mom's car again. There's your mom's car again. Next to a child, which I know you care a lot about, children.
Next to a child from somebody.
Yeah. It's your mom's car.
Yeah, I was just asking him about my about
That's your mom's car
what's going on with that.
that we took the key for from you. So, you can't tell me at this point I'm playing any games anymore, you know?
I didn't say you was playing games from the get-go.
Well, you felt like
Just
we were being totally straight.
last night I felt like
It wasn't
y'all-
it. It wasn't
y'all
as
knew
fluid
more.
as we wanted.
No, it wasn't the flu. It was just
And it wasn't as much as I wanted either.
I knew that y'all knew more than what y'all was saying, and I felt like last night with that whole, them coming in the way they did, and because I'm sitting there in the thing and I'm watching them walk past, like, what in the hell? And seeing that, I just felt like, okay, y'all already know what y'all want to do, what y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just want. I didn't know what y'all want. It just seemed like y'all knew more than what y'all was gonna tell me. It was more so like I feel like I was being railroaded to be like, okay, tell me this, but we already know over here what we gonna do. We already know what we're gonna do right here. We just want you to tell them yourself and say you did this and did that, so we can already justify what we already want to do. And it's like I don't feel like that's fair.
What time did you come out here with the car? What time did you head out from Milwaukee to Waukesha?
I don't want to talk, man. I don't want to talk if I'm not getting nothing.
I just showed you 3 pictures.
Okay,
man.
you showed me pictures, but you're not telling me what I'm facing.
You know what you're facing.
I don't. That's the whole. That's
drove
why I
down
keep
a street.
asking.
You drove down a parade route. You got a pretty good idea what you're facing.
You see what I'm saying? So now this is more stuff coming out, man.
We told you we were looking for that explanation.
And that's you.
And all I'm saying is, look,
Real.
all somebody got to do is just tell me what I'm facing. I'll tell you guys whatever you want to know.
There it
I
is.
said that 3-4
There it
times.
There it is.
And it's like, yo,
So, Darrell, what were you thinking when you went driving through this parade?
what am I facing? That's all I want to know. I don't have no problem talking with you guys.
You got people injured that had to go to the hospital.
So they're saying I injured somebody, or you're saying I
You
injured
did.
somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
People
at
got
what,
hurt.
reckless endangerment?
At the very least, yeah.
The very least.
People got hurt. That's reckless endangerment. I don't know exactly what they're going to classify it. Yeah, people had legs broken.
Endangerment's where you may have hurt somebody by your actions. You did hurt somebody by your actions.
So what am I being charged with? That's what I'm trying to
I
say.
don't know exactly
We're
yet.
still working that out. That's
I
what
don't
we're
know
talking
all
about.
of the details. You're not going to get that out of me. I'm sorry. I'm explaining to you. Driving down there, you're looking at people got hurt. People got some broken legs.
And y'all saying that's me.
I know that's you.
How you know that's you?
Because I can recognize you. I can tell it's you. And that's your mom's car, which you had the key for. I can ID you, Darrell. I'm just asking you to be honest about it.
Be honest about what I'm facing.
What do you think you're facing?
I don't.
What
All I
should you
said
be
is
facing? What do you think hypothetically? I mean, you've been through this gamut before.
right, and y'all knew I was getting charged with this from day one. So why y'all couldn't just charge me and take me to county jail where y'all was gonna take me, man?
Because
Because that,
Because you wanted me to tell on myself.
Because
That's
that
basically what y'all wanted me to
You
do.
told us that there was reasons for everything.
No, I'm saying, but And I'm not trying to think y'all still, I'm not tripping with y'all, because y'all been straight up. So I'm not, but I'm saying, come on, dude, if y'all knew this already, why y'all just didn't why y'all just didn't do what y'all had to do?
Here's where you're at right now.
And it's like, you take me through the runaround to get me to do something that y'all already...
Can I speak? Here's where you're at. Okay? I'll tell you straight. Here's where you're at. One of two people did this. And I mean that from a human perspective. There's the God-fearing Christian who loves his kids and his mom that you say you are, and I want to believe you are. And in many ways, you've presented yourself as, who went out, got in a fight with his girl, argument, whatever you want to call it, and went and just done screwed up. Or there's the malicious guy. The malicious guy who's lied to me about his love for God, who's lied to me about his love for his mother, who's lied to me about his love for his children.
Don't spin it, man.
It's one of those two people, man.
I'm just saying, don't spin it. Then? Don't spin it, man, because I'm not...
Which one are you?
You're not going to spin it, dude.
Which guy are you?
I'm the God-fearing guy that you've been talking to since last night,
Then
man.
tell me the truth about
and you know that.
down
And you
that
know
road.
that.
Then tell me
know
the
that.
truth about driving down that
Tell
road.
me what I'm facing.
I've just told you some of what you're facing.
Some. Reckless endangerment. That's almost like saying I killed somebody.
No, you want me to give you the entire case without
you
giving
don't
me
have
anything,
to.
and
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
going to do that.
That's not what I'm asking.
Do that.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yes, you are.
No,
From
I'm
my
not.
perspective.
No, I'm
Remember when
not.
I talked to you about perspective?
I'm not.
Remember when I talked to you about perspective? Truth somewhere in the middle, all that?
Yeah.
That's how I see what
and
you're
saying
asking.
you got me doing all this and that, but y'all sit up here and come in here. Well, I'm not blaming it on you guys. I'm not. But y'all sit up here and here. The police do this every single time. Even when you try to be, look,
Show me
you try,
a guy
you try to be straight up with them. You try to tell them the truth. You try to do all this and that, and they still railroad you
You're not trying
every
to tell me the truth.
single time.
You're not trying to tell me the truth.
Not
anymore.
It's not even, no, it don't got nothing to do with that, because I just told you, I don't have a problem with telling you everything you want to know. I just wanted to have an idea. I just wanted to have an idea. That's all I said last night.
You know what I want to know.
And that's all I said today.
And you know what happens.
Okay, what am I being charged with? What are y'all going to charge me? What are y'all going to recommend? What are y'all going to do? Because at the end of the day, I'm still, this is why I feel the way I feel.
What was on your phone?
Objection.
Overruled.
Relevance. You can't see what's on the phone from the video.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
So the video or the photo I showed on the phone, if you look at the monitor right now, as I'm facing it, if you face it up there, the right half is a photograph that I was able to positively identify as Darrell Brooks, the defendant, behind the wheel of the red Ford Escape while it was in the middle of the parade route. That picture was the same one that was on the phone when I showed it to him.
Okay.
How do we know that?
I will tell you what you want to know. Do you recall that being stated by Mr. Brooks?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What did you want to know?
I wanted to know why he drove through the route. I wanted to know what caused him to make that decision, what was going through his mind. The evidence at that point, and this is evidence, as I'm stating, it indicated his mother's vehicle drove through the route, that he was the individual driving through the parade route when the vehicle went through the route, and I was looking for explanations. Why? Intent, motive, whatever it might be, for him to tell me, and he's not willing to do that.
This video goes on for another hour and 50 minutes. Did he ever answer that question?
Objection. Speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, he did not.
He'll probably go before a judge, right? What do you want him to think?
I mean, it's nothing I can have them think, because y'all already basically said, okay, this is what happened. We just want you to tell us that this is what happened, so we can just charge you with this, which we're going to charge you with.
Are you the good guy that's screwed up or the evil guy that doesn't care?
Oh, I definitely care. I
Okay, tell me
definitely
the truth.
care. I definitely care.
If you
Why would you
just
try to
really
scare
care.
like that? Just because I don't want to tell you something. Now I don't care. Now I'm the malicious guy. Now I'm this, now I'm that. Just because I don't want to talk.
One other option, you know the truth. We've been talking for a couple
Y'all
of
apparently know the truth too.
But I told you
Apparently.
when we came in, it was to get
Man,
your
you knew this
perspective and
last
your side.
night. Come on, Carp. You knew this last night, man.
This was,
You
I told
knew
you
this
that.
last
This came
night.
out. Yes, I told you that.
And you
This
could have
came
been
out.
like, yo, some people got hurt. We want to know what happened then.
I didn't know enough details last night. There were people out there all night, processing a scene, the entire night, until about, I don't know, noon today.
Come on, man. Y'all knew,
To about noon today.
y'all knew all this, man.
I didn't know everything. I'm telling you, you can believe me if you want, but I got no reason to
because I
lie
know
to you.
y'all
It was
not,
complete
I'm not
chaos.
saying, listen, I'm not saying you're lying.
It was complete chaos.
I'm not saying you're lying.
So that's what took so long.
I'm not.
But you know how it got to be that way.
But
So
also,
tell us how it got to be
I
that
can't
way.
even get a word in.
Because we're going round and around and
Okay,
around,
well,
Darrell.
We're just going to keep going around and around then.
And you're acting like you don't.
I mean,
You're
it's
acting like you don't know what these are, and you do.
no, you making it seem like I don't care. Like I'm just this heartless type of person, dude.
Well, it
I
feels
couldn't
that
even,
way.
okay, that's fine, but look at my position. I've been in here for 24 hours. I haven't even gotten a shower, good sleep. My shoulder's fucked up. I haven't even got a phone call to even notify anybody, talk to my family whatsoever, not one time.
I'm disappointed, Darrell.
I'm disappointed too because you lied to me, Kurt.
Because
You lied to
you
me.
talked about what
Nothing,
you want
listen.
him to do if this
Listen,
is one of your kids.
and
No,
didn't I just
what
say
you want him to do if it was
I
one of your
don't
kids.
have any problem telling you what happened? The only thing I'm saying is I feel like you were trying to railroad me by how you went about it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I'm not saying.
Okay, we've
I'm not
discussed that
saying-
for about an hour. So tell me what happened when you
See
drove
what I'm
off.
saying?
We're not going to make any more progress on that. I get you're pissed about that, and I'm not going to fault you for it. I'm not going to tell you not to be mad. I'm not going to tell you not to feel like, man, that was bullshit, but Carp, why'd you do that? If that's the way you feel, gotcha, it's okay. I'm not going to tell you you can't. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how you should or should not feel about how I went about presenting things last night. Okay, but what I've confronted you with and told you today is your mom's car's out here. I've now shown it to you. You know, you want me to, tell you all these things.
No.
Hold on. But what I told you from the start, and I did tell you this, is that part of it's a give and take. There's things I'll tell you, but I can't just tell you everything. We've shown you pictures, all right? We talked about if the roles were reversed, what you'd want my partner, Ben,
Yes.
to do.
Yeah, you did say that.
We talked about that. What would you want it to do if it was your kid with the broken leg? And look,
So a
I
kid
want
got
to
hurt?
believe a lot of people did.
A lot of people got hurt.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Darrell, you were there.
No, I'm saying a lot of people got hurt.
Yeah, there's people hurt, man.
Like that?
Broken legs and stuff like I told you. Concussions, hit their head.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that happen to nobody, dude.
I don't believe you would either.
Yeah, but you
And I'm
just
not saying it's on purpose.
you just thought, yo, this dude is heartless.
So tell us otherwise.
You know
I
what
didn't
I'm
say
saying?
that. I'm
It's
asking
like,
you,
fuck,
what
man.
do you
Like,
want it to be perceived as?
Tell us how it is then. If we're wrong and it's not heartless, tell us what it was.
I'm here to listen if it's something different. I'm sitting here. I haven't walked out.
Come on, Hart. Come on, y'all know. Listen, man. Y'all know. If I did not talk to that woman, I would have never, ever be sitting right here talking to y'all right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming her. Like I told you, I'm not going to demonize that woman. She's a good woman when she's not drinking.
It's not about her anymore, Darrell.
I know, but
And I
I'm just
believe that
saying.
she wouldn't be in this position if you hadn't talked to her. I
Okay.
believe that.
You didn't have to put the picture down. You didn't have to.
The stroller.
That's a stroller.
Yeah.
So a kid got hurt.
Yeah.
A kid.
Yeah.
Bad. You said a lot of people got
Get
hurt.
checked out, yeah.
A lot of people got hurt.
To me, it's a pretty good injury if a doctor's got to check you out or you got a broken leg.
Yeah, so what do you call my shoulder? I'm just making a joke, but yeah.
I don't know. Well, I want to believe you're the man you say you are, Darrell, but I'm not laughing because there's nothing funny about this.
No, I was just saying. No, it's not. It's never been that. Dude, I don't take my life as a joke. I don't. I don't take my life as no joke. I was just making a joke about my shoulder when you just said, you know, if it's a serious injury, if you got to get looked out. And I was just saying I had to get looked out, but they didn't say it was serious. They treated it like, oh,
Let's say spend the night.
you're the guy in cuffs, so.
Well, you said that part, not me.
No, I'm just saying that's how they, not how you acted, that's how they were acting. It's like, oh, well, there's nothing broken. Well, why do I keep having this thriving burning pain if there's nothing wrong?
Where were you going, Darrell? Help us understand something.
I can do that. I just want to understand what's.
So these parents
I
know
wanna understand.
why their kid got hurt, just the way you want to know why your kid got hurt.
I want to understand what I'm looking at. That's it. A reckless endangerment.
Yeah, that's something you're looking at, right?
Just because some people got hurt.
Yeah, people got hurt.
Now, I just want to say this. You know that when you said it wasn't the end of the world type thing,
Because nothing's the end of the world.
it is. I'll tell you why.
Not when you have God in your life. It's not.
It is because
That's what I believe anyway.
I believe that too, but you don't want to have God in your life when you're sitting in prison. Can't see your family, can't see nobody. What does it matter then?
You know, I talk about Detective Stern and what, you know, if he had injured one of Mr. Brooks's children, that's something that comes up, and what he would want a person to do if this was one of his own family members, I guess, to say if the roles were reversed. But none of those things were anything that made him any more willing to speak to us. It continued to be really demands to know what he was being charged with, even though at that point he's being told what he's very likely looking at. But that kind of back and forth just continued to occur.
At any time during the time you spent with Mr. Brooks on the 22nd or the 21st, did he ever ask how any of the injured people were doing?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name in this leading the witness.
Overruled as to both. The witness may answer.
No. I mean, for example, I gave examples of concussions, broken legs, but there was no follow-up as to whether these concussions were going to cause people brain damage, whether the broken legs would impair people from walking again, or if there'd be amputations. He never addressed that.
I would like that last answer by the witness strike. How can anyone determine what will happen as a result of an injury? How can you even determine that?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
Where the charges go?
Just watch something. Just watch something for me.
More incriminating stuff. I'm already like I'm about to lose my life, man. Can I ask a quick question?
Hold on, watch it.
I know. Why do you want me to watch it?
Yes, I'll show you. I just want you to watch it. Watch it.
Why though?
Watch it for me.
Why though?
Because I want you to see what's in the video. Did you watch it?
No.
Will you?
I just want to know why you want me to watch it.
Because I want you to see what's on the video. Why don't you want to watch it?
I just want to know why you want me to watch it. I didn't say
I just want you to see what I told you.
Problem.
You're not accepting the answer. I told you I want you to see what's in it. That's why I want you to watch it.
You wanted information from us, we're
I
sharing.
want you to watch it and see what's in it. Yeah, it's a good point. It's information sharing. Yes, I want you to watch it and see what's in it.
It's like you, like, badgering me, like, a little
But
bit.
Darrell, you asked me a question. Okay? And this is more than what we had before. So I am showing you more. I'm asking you to watch it. Will you watch it?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay,
I
that's
just
fine.
want to know what was the reasoning.
Because I want you to see what's in it.
I mean, I'm pretty much...
It's not complex. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just that. I want you to see what happens.
I understand. I'm just saying I already know. I already have an idea from what you guys was saying earlier.
But I want you to see it.
It's like watching like, all I'm thinking about right now is
Here, we'll talk in a
what a
second.
hell of a journey it's been, but this is how my story ends. That's all I've been thinking about. Like, it's nothing that I want to...
Can you look down?
Why do you want me to see that card? Why?
Because I think it's important.
Why is it important? Is it to make, like, what is it?
Well, why don't you want to look?
I'm just asking. I'm not trying to raise my voice at you, or I'm
I'm
not.
just asking you why you don't want to look.
I'm just saying, why did you want me to look?
So because I think it's important. So you see what happened.
You told me what happened. You already told me what happened, Kurt. Y'all told me what happened. I understand my life is over. I'm trying to come to grips with that. I'm trying to come to grips with the fact that this is how my story ends. From trying to love somebody, I'll never see my kids again. My mom, my relationship is gone from me. And it's like, what is it to look at more? My life is for me to look at my life end?
That's you, Darrell.
Is it looking at my life ending?
These are the same photo. I'm just telling you that. Okay? I think it's important you see these.
It's important for me to see my life end.
It is important for you to see them.
For my life to end.
Are we gonna keep going round and round about this, or is there something you want to tell me?
Nothing's gonna help me at this point. Everybody knows what was going on from that y'all knew last night, why I was getting investigated, why I was, you know what I'm saying?
Those are children right there. Those are kids. See that little kid right there? You gonna look at it?
What were you showing Mr. Brooks?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't consent to that name being used.
At that point,
Hold on. Were you done with the objection?
Yeah, I was done.
All right, it's noted and overruled. The witness may answer.
at that excuse me. At that point, I was showing Mr. Brooks a video that had been provided to me of him operating the red Ford Escape through the parade route. At that specific point, Mr. Brooks was struck members of the Waukesha South Marching Band, and I wanted him to see it. It was more information. He was asking for it. I felt it was important to see his reaction to it, to see if he'd be willing to talk about it. And at the point where I paused it and brought the piece of paper that his head is now down on, I paused the video at a point where you could see that it was Mr. Brooks behind the wheel of the vehicle. And the point at which I paused was a still photo of that moment that was on the paper. So it was, I guess, the same picture.
Did you get any further with Mr. Brooks in the next hour that's contained in this interview?
No, I did not.
Objection of consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness's answer may stand. Mr. Brooks, this relates to the viewing of the vehicle that was recovered by the Waukesha Police Department. There were preliminary discussions when you were still represented by counsel, and the request is being made that the viewing of this vehicle take place tomorrow. Your response, if any?
First of all, I accept for value in return for value this paperwork. I guess I'm still confused as to why there needs to be a jury view.
I can have the state put their request on the record again. I'm responding to their request. So go ahead, Attorney Opper.
Mr. Brooks has been charged in every count with acting while armed with a dangerous weapon. We believe it's relevant and appropriate for the jury to view what we're alleging to be the dangerous weapon in this case, that is the 2010 Ford Escape. It's essentially would be no different than bringing a firearm into the courtroom during a shooting case.
In terms of the time that's being requested, do you have any position on that?
Do I have to be present for this?
I would like you to be, and yes, we're making arrangements for you to be there, sir.
Do I have to be present for it? And also, for the record, I don't consent to the name that's being referred to.
I'll use this opportunity, sir, to ask what name you prefer to be called, because we now have evidence in the record where you provided your name to, upon questioning. There was video from when you were taken into custody, and then, of course, Detective Carpenter has testified about that as well. Again, I try to refer to the parties by name because that is how I believe I demonstrate respect and decorum in this courtroom. And we've been given no other name, sir, by which to call you by. And I must, at that point, go back to what's on the criminal complaint, which is the initial charging document. That is what was filed in order to initiate the case.
With all due respect, the record should be corrected. I didn't put anything on the record that was...
I didn't state that. I said there's evidence in the record.
Well, evidence, what you referred that evidence to me.
So there's evidence in the record, but be that as it may, I'm just letting you know I'm going to keep referring to you sometimes as defendant, sometimes as sir, sometimes as Darrell Brooks, sometimes as Mr. Brooks. I understand you may still have an objection, but I've been given no other name from you by which to call you.
I follow, but there's still a lack of understanding. Are you referring to the name that was in all caps on all the filings? Because every filing that I have,
I find the response to be kind of disingenuous, sir.
So there was
this is, I believe, a tactic by you to create some type of confusion, which I don't believe there is any, about who you are and what name I need to refer to you as.
I never said you had to refer to me by any specific name. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that every filing that has ever been filed was in capital letters. That's a fact. I have paperwork to prove that. I don't recognize that name, nor do I know any individual by that name. That's all I'm stating.
Well, let's assume for a second that it's not in all caps. Do you recognize that?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, we have our answer then. We're going to keep going, sir. We're a little bit off topic. In terms of the request by the state, I'll give you one more opportunity to answer that. They've requested that whatever we're doing tomorrow morning, whether it be their case, whether it be If you are calling witnesses, that we pause about 11:45 in order for the jurors, the court, and the parties to be taken to that secure location for that jury view. Do you have any position as it relates to that?
Yeah, my position was when I answered, I said, do I have to be present?
I'm requiring you to be there, yes.
And what reason do I have to be present?
Unless you're willing to go through a colloquy with this court and intentionally waive your right to be there, because then I'm going to require you to be there.
And that's not explaining why I have to be there, though.
Because I'm requiring you to be there, sir.
And you just made that decision now?
All right. He's not answering the question that I asked him. We will pause
I'm
at
trying to get
approximately
understanding, that's all.
11:45 tomorrow morning.
Don't I have rights, though, Your Honor?
All right. Then with that...
Could I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Scheduling, Your Honor. We still have not received anything from Mr. Brooks as to the date and time when he would like his witnesses ordered to appear. I don't see anything was e-filed.
Mr. Brooks, we need to know which particular witnesses on which day and whether it's AM or PM. Don't need to give me the order. We'll have them come in groupings, but it's not reasonable that they all come on the same date. So you need to provide that to the DA.
How am I supposed to provide that to the DA?
You can write that down, or you can put it orally on the record right now. I asked you to bring it with this morning, and I didn't cover that this morning, so you were put on notice of that. But I'll give you until...
I was put on notice of what?
If somebody needed to give notice to an employer and it can't be accommodated, then that may affect things for Mr. Brooks. But I think 24 hours notice is generally reasonable, and we will do our best. We can assure the court we will do our best to get them here. But I don't know if we'll be able to exactly accommodate the timing that he may or may not want.
All right, so Mr. Brooks,
Objection to that, because when the subpoenas were served to them, I'm assuming that they would have let any employers or anything know that they were expected to testify in a trial. I don't understand why it will become a problem at the last second.
By the start of court tomorrow, you need to bring with you, either in writing or be prepared to put it on the record orally, which witnesses you want. Use your best judgment on that.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to come up with exacts on that.
I presume you're going to prepare some questions, and you might be able to kind of gauge how quickly that will go or not. If not, we'll do our best, but you've got to provide some definitiveness. It's not reasonable to just have these witnesses all come on one day.
I'm informed of what you're saying. I just feel like that same courtesy wasn't afforded to me by the prosecution. They didn't have to tell me exactly what witnesses was being called on what day and all this and that. Why is it not even
I am requiring it, sir, because they are assisting you, because they graciously agreed to do that because you are representing yourself. If you want them to be out of the loop on that, then I can just put it on your responsibility and your shoulders. But that is up to you.
What do you mean by put it on my shoulders?
You can contact them.
How am I supposed to do that?
You have access to a phone in the jail.
So I'm supposed to call everybody that I subpoenaed, not knowing their information?
That is one way to do it, sir. Their information is in the police reports.
That is highly unreasonable. When one person that's on my witness list, I'm not even permitted to have contact with.
That would be a good exception to that. So that's very astute of you to point that out, sir. That would be one exception. But other than that, in any event, sir, we're kind of a bit off track. We're going to get back on track, and you need to provide the information that's provided, that I've outlined here today.
I don't think that's fair, Your Honor.
Oh, your objection is noted, but it's my ruling.
The state didn't have to do that, but I have to do that.
Sir, I remind you that you are nonetheless required to follow the rules of procedure, just as any attorney would have to if they were representing you. You've chosen to represent yourself. The state has graciously agreed to assist. They've served the subpoenas on your behalf. They didn't have to do that, but they did. They're simply asking for some basic courtesy so they can then relay that information to the witnesses you want to call in this trial.
I'm informed of that, Your Honor, but
All right, then let's move on.
that's actually under the confrontation clause in the Sixth Amendment. I should be able to have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed. It shouldn't. Why is that?
Again, we're getting a little far afield here, sir. Subpoenas were provided to you. The record is very clear on that. We assisted you with that. I even reviewed them for completeness. And then the state assisted you with serving them. That is something they are not required to do, but they agreed to do in this case. So nothing about your Sixth Amendment has been violated in that regard.
Did I say violated, or did I say I'm not?
So that's you need to understand that, sir.
I don't understand anything, and for the record,
All right.
I didn't bring up the word
Let
violated.
us continue then. We're going to move on, Mr. Brooks. Let us continue with the questioning
So we're going to move on to
of-
subject matter jurisdiction that
No,
has
I'm
yet
not.
to be proven?
Detective Carpenter, you can please come on back up to the witness stand, and Madam Clerk, you can have the jurors brought out.
So we're not going to address that at all? That's not going to be proven for the record? Is that a judicial determination that you don't have to answer the question, Your Honor? Is there also a tactic agreement?
The state would move Exhibit 82 into evidence at this time.
All right, you want to do that in front of the jury or just with me?
I wasn't sure if the defendant would have any objections that would need to be heard off the record or outside the presence of the jury.
Well, can you have them hold for a second? Do you have any objection to Exhibit 82?
Yeah, I got objection.
What's the objection, sir?
What is the relevancy of Exhibit 82?
82 is your interview with Detective Carpenter and Detective Stern. Your objection is to relevance? Your objection's noted, it's overruled, and I will receive Exhibit 82.
The court will let the jury know that when they come
So
in.
are
Yes.
you overruling the fact that the true nature and cause has not been presented to me, that I don't know what the true nature and cause of the charges are? Your Honor, may I see a sworn affidavit of the nature and authority of the court? Or is that a judicial determination? You won't answer that as well.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I hope the record reflects that.
Record will reflect that Detective Carpenter is back on the witness stand following the break for the lunch hour. And Mr. Brooks, you may start your cross-examination.
I don't consent to being called that name, Your Honor.
Your objection's noted. It's overruled. Please ask your
Can't be
questions.
overruled. Detective Carpenter. Did you attend the parade that evening, November 21st of 2021?
Yes.
What time did you leave?
I don't recall the exact time.
And when you left, where did you go?
Our temporary police department.
Temporary. Explain what do you mean by temporary?
So at the time of the incident, the building we are in currently, which was our main building, was under construction. So we were displaced.
What were you guys using for the temporary police station?
The city annex and city hall. We're in two different buildings.
Does any of those buildings consist of a room for interrogation?
There is at the annex.
And so when you initially interrogated the suspect, why was the annexed interrogation room not used?
Well, when I interrogated you, Mr. Brooks, the annex room was not used because the situation was very fluid. There was a lot of information being learned. We knew this was going to be drawn out. There is no municipal lockup facility at the annex, so it could not be utilized.
And so the police holding room in the hospital was more sufficient.
You asked to go up there for medical clearance.
Why would a hospital police room be more sufficient than the actual police station that you were utilizing at the time?
You requested medical clearance at the hospital.
So was there sufficient lockup at the police room in the hospital?
We had areas in the hospital, so when you were being treated by the doctor, you could be handcuffed to a bed.
How come the suspect couldn't be handcuffed at the annex for the interrogation without having to be handcuffed to a specific bench or whatever you refer to it as?
Well,
I guess essentially what I'm asking is, could the suspect still be properly detained while being interrogated at the annex versus the police holding room in the hospital?
so let me make sure I have this straight. Your question is about detainment. Do I have that right?
I think the question was very clear, Detective.
I can't answer it if I'm not going to get clarification.
And where was the suspect taken upon being detained?
You were taken, Mr. Brooks, upon the time you were arrested, down to the substation on Les Paul Parkway in Waukesha.
Do you recall what information was obtained at the substation?
Yes?
Do you recall what that was?
Yes?
Can you state for the jury and for the record what information you obtained at the substation?
Yes, sir. Basic biographical information. So I obtained your first name, Darrell Brooks, your last name being Brooks, your full middle name, I should say, being Edward. I learned that you were a junior, the date of birth, February 21st, 1982. Additional information obtained was your home address, which was you provided as 4014 North 19th Street in the city of Milwaukee. Phone number, your emergency contact, which you provided as Dawn Woods. Whether you were employed, going to school.
Kept mentioning that name, pretty slick.
Sure, disregard that last statement, sir. Please ask questions. You'll have an opportunity to testify later.
Oh, I got a lot of questions. And at that point in the investigation, what did you initially know?
At that point, we knew that the red Ford Escape had driven through the parade route and that you'd been identified as a suspect.
And why was that information not provided at that time to the detainee?
The information at the time wasn't presented to you, Mr. Brooks, because, as I stated in my earlier testimony, it was very chaotic out at the scene. There was still a lot more that needed to be learned.
So is that standard procedure to not tell a person why they're being detained?
Well, we didn't not tell you. That's incorrect, and it's misleading to the court. You were informed you were being detained for prowling, loitering, disorderly conduct of that nature.
Is that the same as...
Can I finish, please? I just didn't bring up the parade part of it.
Why not?
As I stated in earlier testimony, it was very fluid and chaotic, and a lot of information wasn't yet known. So I was waiting to receive more information.
Did you state in your early testimony if that was standard procedure or not?
It's standard.
So with every detainee that you've ever detained during your career, 18 years, right?
Yes.
It's standard procedure to not tell someone being detained what they're detained for.
As I had stated in my earlier testimony, Mr. Brooks, I explained to you were detained for prowling and loitering and disorderly conduct. based on the lack of information on the parade, that was not brought up. So what I can clarify for the court at this point is that in situations where so limited information exists early on, it is standard not to convey that information to suspects.
And what do you mean by it's standard?
I mean that I don't tell them because I don't have all the facts yet, and I'm not looking to necessarily accuse them before I know the nature of what they did or didn't do exactly pertaining to that incident.
So it'd be fair to say that it was not a fact as far as the information you learned to that point in the investigation.
Objection there.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
So at that point in the investigation, it wasn't a fact.
Objection, same question.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
At that point in the investigation, the information you had at that time, you weren't sure about.
I guess which part?
All the information that you had up until that point.
Okay, about the prowling or parade, I don't understand which part of it you're talking about.
All the information that you've obtained at that point in the investigation, you weren't sure about. As you just said, you don't try to assume guilt or anything like that until you have all the facts. So at that time, at that point in the investigation, is it fair to say that the information that you had obtained so far, you were not sure about?
I wasn't sure if you were the driver initially, but it was believed you were involved.
And you knew that to be fact?
Yes, the information being provided was that you were involved.
So it'd be fair to say you knew that as a fact?
Well, hold on. I'm going to not allow him to answer that. This jury will determine the facts of this case. If you want to ask him his opinion, you do that at your discretion.
He said fact. He said facts.
You asked the question, sir. So
He brought it up first.
I'm going to strike the question from the record. And Mr. Brooks, you're directed to rephrase.
I will rephrase, but I do not consent to being called that name for the record. So why did you constantly tell the detainee that they were being detained for loitering and prowling if you in fact knew that there was another reason why they were being detained?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained. That's the form of the question.
What was the significance of the FBI being present?
The significance of the FBI presence was the early on concern that this was a terrorist-style event.
And you said that this was a terrorist element. And what is the this? Can you explain what the this is?
When you drove your vehicle through the parade and struck people.
Which at the time you stated you did not know as fact, correct?
That was still being investigated, yes, but I know that's what occurred now.
Now versus then.
Initially, it was unknown if you drove.
That's what I was
stated.
That was the question.
But the investigation showed that you were the driver of the vehicle.
And initially, you didn't provide that information, correct?
Correct.
So do you know if the FBI continued their part of the investigation?
Eventually, the investigation was strictly run by our department.
And do you recall why that decision was made?
My understanding is there wasn't a terrorism link.
You made reference to a car key being found. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Did you yourself find the car key?
No, I did not.
Were you told by other law enforcement?
I guess told what exactly?
That a car key was found.
I was not specifically. Your items that were located on you during the search were turned over to Detective Stern, and the car key was one of those items.
And to the best of your knowledge, you didn't have that information at the time, correct?
At which time?
At the time that the detainee was detained in the substation.
I just want to make sure I guess that I understand. So you're asking me what I knew about the key, or if I knew where it was found at the substation? I don't understand.
I guess the clarity that you may be looking for is what was found and brought into the substation?
Okay. The Ford ignition key and other items that I alluded to in my earlier testimony include your photo ID and credit cards with your name, or debit card, credit and or debit cards with your name on them.
That you did not search and find yourself, right?
That's correct.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know where certain items were found at the time that you learned of there being items found, correct?
No.
No, as in?
No, I knew those items were found on you in the search. Maybe not the specific pocket, but I knew the officers found those items in your possession.
Were you at the scene of the search?
No.
So how do you know where they were found?
Because they were turned over to Detective Stern as your property.
How do you know where they were found, though, if you weren't at the scene?
Because I was aware officers searched you, and it's not reasonable to believe they were randomly in the grass at the house you were at in a city that you've indicated you're not familiar with.
Can you strike that last answer from the record? I didn't refer to any house, grass.
You asked
city.
an open-ended question. His answer will stand. Your request is denied.
So it'd be fair to say that in the question I did not mention a house, grass, or a city? That'd be fair to say?
You didn't mention it, but I know you were found at a house in the city of Waukesha. And I know you're not familiar with Waukesha because that's what you told me when I interviewed you.
Can you strike that last answer?
Request is denied.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
You asked the question. He answered it. If you want to limit, ask leading questions and direct him. That is your right.
You made reference to the house where the detainee was found, the grass, the city. Could it be possible that that's where they were found? The items that you are referring to?
No.
Even though it would be fair to say that you were not present.
Correct.
You made a lot of reference to the body pain and having to be checked at the hospital and being medically cleared. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, we took you to the hospital for clearance.
Are you yourself a doctor or have any training in the medical field?
No, sir.
So it'd be fair to say that you cannot know how a person's body is feeling. That'd be fair to say?
I can't explain exactly what another's body's feeling, correct.
So it'd also be fair to say that there's a possibility that you can be incorrect about assumptions made to pain reference. That be fair to say?
I think that depends on the circumstance. In this specific circumstance, you told me.
He'll ask follow-up if he wants it.
Okay.
You made reference to the FBI being present because you were short-staffed. Do you recall that?
I don't recall exactly what I said, but I recall acknowledging their presence, yes.
You would like the audio recording from the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want it started right at 4:25?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll see you right here, Darrell. I'll go grab you. I'll tell you.
Darrell?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Darrell. I'm Jeremy Wojciechowski. I'm the FBI. FBI. Yeah.
FBI?
Yeah.
I'm Mary. Yep.
They're just kind of helping out because we're so short-staffed tonight. So,
Thank you.
It's paused at 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Go ahead.
From hearing the audio on this Exhibit 81, do you recall saying that the FBI was present because you were short-staffed?
that is my voice. I don't recall saying it in the moment, but that's my voice.
That is your voice.
That is me talking.
Do you recall being short-staffed at that time?
Yes.
And can you explain what the short staff mean as far as at that time, what would short staff mean?
That we were just very short on resources with what happened down at the parade route and the mass casualties and the amount of officers it took to secure that location. We were very short on people.
And
people were called in off duty.
You made reference to the short staff being the reason why the FBI was present.
Yes.
Is FBI usually present in the situation of short staffing?
No.
At some point, the detainee was moved to the Muskego Police Department, correct?
Yes, you were moved to the Muskego Police Department later in the evening.
And when did you learn that that would be a location that the detainee would be going to?
After the first interrogation attempt.
First interrogation attempt. How would you define attempt?
I read you your Miranda rights verbatim from the Waukesha Police Department Miranda statement form. And at that time you indicated you didn't wish to speak with me.
So it would be fair to say that the Fifth Amendment right was exercised at that point.
Right to silence.
Under the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
So, acknowledging now the fact that the Fifth Amendment right was invoked not to speak, or as you say, the right to silence, why did you continue to record on your phone?
So we are trained at our police department when you do an interrogation, the recording is to be left on pretty much until you try to effect transport.
Even once a detainee has invoked their right to silence, you still continue to record? Is that a standard practice of your agency?
Yes, it is, for as long as they remain in the room.
And so when did you start recording?
Prior to you entering the room.
So you started recording before the detainee entered the room, and you said you keep the recording on until they leave the room. So would it be fair to say that there should only be recording while the detainee is in the room?
No.
And you did say for the record that that's standard procedure in your agency.
In regards to the interview rooms at our normal police department, which wasn't available at that time, yes.
Would it be fair to say that you were not at the normal police department?
Yes, however, with the audio, I was still trying to make sure I followed the policy to the best of my ability.
Can you show proof of that policy?
I don't have it.
So it'd be fair to say that there's no way to determine if that truly is policy if it can't be proven.
Objection, argument.
Grounds.
Sustained. As to the form of the question, it's argumentative.
How can that policy be proven?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained on relevance grounds.
Do you know where that procedure is located in your agency rules?
Objection,
Grounds.
relevance.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor?
Relevance grounds. Relevance. Not relevant. Next question.
It's not relevant?
No, keep going. We can take it up later outside the presence of the jury at our afternoon break, but for now, keep going.
You stated to being present during the booking process into the Muskego Police Department. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So why couldn't interrogation be conducted at that time, which would have been more ideal considering that you said there was a lockup. I forgot how you referred to it, but basically like a room that the detainee could be secured.
Well, you had been talking about at that point when we arrived at the facility with you that you hadn't eaten all day, you hadn't slept, so we wanted to give you an opportunity to eat, sleep, clear your mind, and refresh yourself.
And what bearing would that have on interrogation?
Well, I mean, you said you hadn't eaten, you hadn't slept. So I think a person is more focused when they're fed and they're rested. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to do that.
In your opinion, how would that have affected interrogation?
I'm going to excuse the jury right now. So if our jury, we could stand for the jury so I can take up a legal issue, please. So I'm going to take up two issues right now. One is when I paused earlier and told Mr. Brooks I would allow him to, it was regarding the policies. I want to know, as the proponent of the evidence, why you think that's relevant. And then secondly, the questions I believe that you are asking related to the interrogation, unless you can convince me otherwise, go to a legal issue that this court has already determined, but I'll hear you out on that.
The policies, that's relevant because I think it should be stated for the record why he left his phone recording after he acknowledged that the Fifth Amendment right to silence had been invoked. At that point, interrogation is supposed to stop completely.
Well, I understand what you're saying from a legal perspective, but why do you believe having the specific policy and him testify about the specific policy is relevant to his testimony?
Well, I believe that if that's in fact policy, it should be proven. It should be proven that that's a fact, that is a real policy. For all we know, he could just be saying that it's a policy. And at that point, it makes him continuing to record after the Fifth Amendment had been invoked.
Well, right now, you assume facts that are not in evidence.
If he's saying that this is a policy of his agency, he should be able to prove that that's policy. Because at that point, if there's no way to know that that is the correct procedure that they use every time, then
You're,
why?
again, making a lot of generalizations that I don't think are accurate as to what he said. This is a trial, sir, where the allegations in this case are that you drove through the Christmas parade, right, and caused death and injury to a number of individuals. There's also those other charges related to the bail jumping, the battery, and frankly, his conduct isn't on trial. We're not here about a police misconduct trial. I'm not saying that some of this information might not be relevant to his credibility, things of that nature, but you have to, again, you're the proponent of this. Why do you believe those policies relate to an issue of fact in this case or otherwise go to your defense?
I believe that is relevant because it can show that at the very minimum that first interrogation and anything related to it should not be admissible as evidence.
I've already ruled on the admissibility. That's a legal determination. So I'm not seeing the relevance to those specific policies, and there is simply no requirement that the state or this witness has to prove those policies. You are representing yourself. Hold on, let me finish. You're representing yourself. I'm not aware of any subpoena that required him to bring those policies with. So that would have been on you if you felt it important to cross-examine him on those policies to require that. I'm not aware of that. Have you done that?
Obviously, it was going to come up.
Did you issue a subpoena ducis tecum to this witness to bring with any of his policies related to interrogation?
How can I do that myself, Your Honor? How can I do that from a jail cell?
You were given all of those blank subpoena copies, sir, and you could have filled that out in a way for this witness to require. You didn't do that. So
who would have served him?
The state would have. They served your other subpoenas. So I'll give you one more opportunity. Why do you believe that questioning him about the policies are relevant to your case?
It's relevant to the case because why would he be recording before people are even in the room and then after?
Well, that's argumentative, sir, so that's not a legal basis.
Once the Fifth Amendment is invoked, interrogation is supposed to stop, period. There's supposed to be no more recording, no more questions asked. That should be the end of the whole interrogation.
These are legal issues that you're trying to raise before the jury. I've already dealt with the admissibility, so you've not provided a legal basis to further question this officer about policies related to the interrogation and the recording.
Do you recall making a statement that we all know how women can be? They're crazy?
I do.
And what did you mean by that?
It was just additional rapport building that I've talked about in my earlier testimony. Speaking to you on a person-to-person level, quite honestly, it wasn't a judgment I generalized towards all women in the world. It was just wanted you to feel comfortable talking to me as a person. I felt we had rapport. I felt I could tell the night before you were comfortable speaking to me. And it was just a continuation of that.
Why did you feel that would have been necessary to build a rapport that you stated that you already felt that you had?
And I was just continuing to go along those lines. It wasn't anything other than to just communicate with you on a stiff level, relaxed level.
And do you feel, would it be fair to say that other comments could have been used to keep the detainee at ease?
Objection, A.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Was there any other conversational tools you could have used to keep the detainee at ease?
Objection, same.
Grounds.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Perhaps, maybe.
Would it be fair to say that you felt that at that time, the conversational tool that you used would be more appropriate for the situation?
I don't know that I was really thinking about appropriateness. Like I said, I was just conversing you on a normal person-to-person level was my intention at the time.
So it would be fair to say that you assumed that would put the detainee more at ease by starting the conversation with along those lines?
That's not anything that I did just specifically for you, Mr. Brooks. I always want people to be as relaxed as they can be. I want them to feel comfortable to talk to me if they are willing. It doesn't change the fact that ultimately I have to read Miranda.
Speaking of Miranda, do you recall reading the Miranda rights in the second interrogation?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall how long into the interrogation before you read the Miranda rights?
Objection.
Grounds.
Objection, misstatement,
Grounds.
and mischaracterization of the evidence.
Grounds.
Well, sustained is to the form of the question.
Do you recall when in the second interrogation you read the Miranda rights?
Your Honor, I am going to object again to the form of the question.
Grounds.
The interrogation began, the court made a finding as to when the interrogation began prior.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question. It calls for a legal conclusion. Next question.
Did you immediately start the second interrogation with the reading of Miranda rights?
No, that is not the first thing I stated to you. First, I explained to you what I was wishing to talk to you about.
And do you recall how long you were in that explanation phase of the interrogation?
Maybe around 15 minutes, 16 minutes.
So it'd be fair to say that you didn't read the Miranda rights till somewhere after already interrogating the detainee for 15 minutes at least.
Objection.
Grounds.
Misstatement.
Sustained.
Had you spoken with Ms. Patterson about the alleged domestic allegations?
I did not.
So it'd be fair to say that you, at that time, didn't know if they were true or not?
No, that wouldn't be fair to say.
And why would that not be fair to say?
Well, hold on. It's for this jury to determine the facts of this case, including the domestic allegations.
Is it fair to say that someone who is being detained would perceive that as being misleading when there's two different reasons why they're being detained that was told to them?
Objection, speculation. This witness cannot know what is in
Sustained.
someone else's mind.
Calls for speculation.
At any point in the interrogations, did you knowingly lie about the information that you had?
There was information I withheld from you, yes.
So it'd be fair to say that you lied.
Objection mischaracterizes this officer's answer.
It's argumentative, sustained as to the form of the question.
Just for the record, there is a point in there where you
Sustained
Stated
as to
that
the
he
form of
lied.
the question.
why did you continue to withhold information repeatedly?
Interrogation doesn't truly begin until I'm asking you incriminating questions potentially after you've agreed to waive your rights and speak, something you didn't do on the first day. On the second one, quite honestly, it goes back to what I've stated in my earlier testimony. I wanted to make sure the information I was getting from you was truthful. I wanted to make sure that I didn't lead you down a path of potential lies. And third, quite frankly, Mr. Brooks, I didn't believe if I gave you the information you were going to tell me anything.
You made reference to the first interrogation saying that there was no waiver of That interrogation?
Objection.
Oh,
I'm referring to what he just said at the beginning of the answer.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question.
Grounds for the sustain?
Next question.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor?
Next question.
So I can't get no grounds. Okay. So you made reference to not being sure if you wasn't sure if you were going to get the information you were seeking?
Correct.
And is that what led you to lie about the information you knew?
Objection mischaracterizes the testimony.
Grounds.
It's argumentative. Sustained.
Did that lead you to not be forthright about the information you knew?
Objection. Argumentative.
Sustained is to the form of the question. His words were that he withheld. You may.
That led you to withhold information that you had obtained?
Well, again, as I've stated in prior testimony, strong part of the reason I withheld information is I wanted to gauge how honest and truthful you would be. I think it's important to note you lied to me, and this was proven by evidence, about your mother owning a vehicle. You lied about coming out here in a tan possible Kia. So there were lies that were told at this point. You lied about being body slammed by officers.
In reference to the second interrogation, in reference to finding the phone, did you ever find the phone of the detainee?
You asking if I personally did?
Yes.
I didn't, no.
Do you recall where the phone was recovered?
In your vehicle.
When you say your vehicle, who are you referring to?
Your mother's red Ford Escape that you were driving that day.
So it'd be fair to say it wasn't my vehicle, as you stated. Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
And there was a point in the second interrogation when you were attempting to show the detainee a video, almost as if you was forcing it in his face. What were you attempting to show the detainee?
I was attempting to show you a video of when you drove your vehicle through the parade route.
Any reason why you were being so forceful in trying to do that?
Well, I felt it was very important for you to see the damage that was caused from the incident. And Detective Stern made the statement as well. You were asking for more information, so we attempted to show you more information.
The night of the arrest, when did you arrive on scene to Elizabeth Street?
Shortly after you had been taken into custody.
When you arrived, what did you see?
Can't recall exactly. I believe you were already in the back seat of a squad car.
So at that time, suspect was already detained.
You were detained.
Suspect. Already
Suspect
detained.
is you, Darrell Brooks.
Can you strike that last comment?
That was his response. It will stand. All right. Thank you. Please have a seat.
Do you recall Mr. Brooks' questioning of you with regard to the recording made by your cell phone at Waukesha Memorial Hospital during the first meeting with the defendant?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Noted, overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, I recall.
Are you familiar with the term excited utterance?
Yes, I
Objection,
am.
leading.
Oh, overruled, the witness may answer.
Sorry.
What is that?
It's when an individual, whether it be Mr. Brooks or any individual, begins making statements on their own accord in not response to a question. Typically, an utterance may reference why they're in custody in the situation that you were either questioning them about or preparing to question them about.
Is it important to capture those types of utterances on tape or recording?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, it is.
Would that be a reason to continue recording after an interview's been ended?
Objection, answered that already.
Overruled, the witness may answer. It's redirect.
Yes, it would.
Did the defendant ever tell you that there was anyone in that car other than him driving it and possibly Erica Patterson?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
No, he did not.
And finally, you've been a law enforcement officer in Waukesha County for approximately 18 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Who makes the charging decision when deciding what charges get issued in a criminal case?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
The prosecuting attorney at the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office.
You don't decide on the charges?
No.
Objection.
We can forward what we believe is appropriate, but we don't ultimately make the decision to charge.
So when Mr. Brooks asked you, what am I being charged with? Did you have any ability to tell him that?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Noted, overruled. You may answer the question.
No, ma'am. Not with 100% certainty, no.
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. We are in recess. We'll see everyone at 8:30 tomorrow morning.